everyone, and welcome back to the Rave Social Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden, and today we are cameras off with Mary. Not because we want to be, but because technology hates us. So you guys don't get to see Mary, although she does look gorge. I'll just we'll put a picture of her. You'll love it. But I'm going to intro Mary here, and then we're going to get going talking about mompreneurship, which I know is some people don't like that. Some people don't like that word. So if you don't like that word, we're just going to be talking about entrepreneurship as a mom and being a photographer, pivoting, and really just living our best lives. So Mary is a wedding photographer based in the state of Michigan, but she travels all over. She specializes in bespoke imagery and mentors photographers to help them create their own signature style. So welcome, Mary.
Hey,
We're so excited to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's so funny.
I'm really happy to be here, cameras off, which is sometimes I don't know if you've ever been on a Zoom call with someone and you find yourself staring into the middle because you don't know where to look. So I'm like, oh wait, this is very cozy.
I know. I'm looking at your just my blank Zoom screen. I've never recorded like this before, but it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Mercury's in retrograde while we're recording this, just so everyone knows. It's not us. It is definitely Mercury. But I'm so excited to have you on today. Mary has been a client of ours in the past, and she's incredible, and she's kind of on a new journey. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I'd love to first just ask you, how has being a mom shaped the way that you run your photography business?
Oh my gosh, it's changed so much. But I think the thing that it's changed the most is it's made me pretty
ruthless on what is really, really important and what matters.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with having kids is
every second matters, and
you really can't afford to lose time in certain places or to waste your time. So I've been pretty ruthless on just not getting lost in too much busy work and just being as effective as I possibly can.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I'm not a mom, but I love talking to moms and getting your take on how businesses are run, because I just feel like sometimes I get so overwhelmed, and I think having the perspective of being a mom can be so helpful with cutting the fat in your business. What matters, what doesn't, where should my energy be going? I'm not going to worry about this client problem that I have because my kids are way more important. And I just think there's so much to learn from moms who are entrepreneurs. You guys have a different level of understanding that the rest of us kind of don't, to be honest.
Honestly, we all
have that little bit of understanding. It's just whether we listen to it or not,
yeah,
to be honest. And one thing,
and I know it's something that we've talked about a bit, is sometimes I just don't go with my gut and
what matters, and you end up on this ongoing cycle or this hamster wheel of trying to figure things out, when if you would have just gone with your gut to begin with, you would have wasted way less time and
that is so
way
real.
more effective. So that's something that I know I avoided a lot in my early stages of motherhood, even up to now sometimes, but it's something that I'm leaning into as much as I possibly can moving forward.
Yeah, building that muscle is hard. It's it's the logic your logic mind wants to beat out your intuition a lot of times when your intuition is literally smarter. There's nothing wrong with your logical mind either, but it can keep you stuck because of the fears, of the what ifs, of all of that. And your gut can just be forget the fears and the what ifs, and this is what you need to be doing. Just listen to me, I promise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm curious what boundaries you have had to set to protect time with your family while running a wedding photography business and mentorship, especially because you, at least in the past, have been a destination photographer. So you traveled a ton last busy season. And I'm just curious, how did you have good boundaries, and how did you manage that?
If I'm being completely honest, it's something that I'm still figuring out in real time
all the time. There's definitely some things that I've set up to set those boundaries.
Like you said, I travel a lot. I'm based in Michigan, but this year I only have
one wedding in the state of Michigan all year. And the way that I've set up that boundary is I don't work a wedding more than 2 weekends a month. So then I have 2 weekends that are completely off and set for my family.
Yeah.
Last year, normally I have a boundary of that I don't work in the month of July because
For people who don't live in Michigan, Michigan in the summer is the best place to be in the entire world.
and I continually have missed out on that with my family, my friends, and you can get to a lake in Michigan in a matter of 45 minutes, no matter where you are.
And so I missed out on a lot of that last year. I did not listen to that boundary, but it's okay. I ended up in Italy, so I'm not going to be too mad at myself. But this year I held that boundary and I'm super excited for that downtime. But yeah, it's really just protecting the boundary of my home. So that when the workday's done, it's like actually done. I think it's really hard for people who are entrepreneurs to really check out and shut things down. One thing that helped a ton was you gifted me the best thing I've ever had in my entire life, the breath. And I'm so eternally thankful for it. And I just cut out of as many apps that I can without spiraling.
Yeah.
And just so that I can shut down my day and walk out and be done.
Yeah. I feel like it can be so challenging to not stay firm to your boundaries when, I mean, let's just be honest, when like money comes into the picture, because it's like, am I going to turn down this $7,000 wedding for a nice summer day? Yeah, I am, but that's hard, you know? Like that is so hard to say. It's so hard to stick to your boundary when sometimes it can be tempting to be like, well, that's a whole trip to freaking Italy, you know? Like that's so much money, but ultimately like money, it's not the most important thing. Like your family, your like memories, those core memories are so much, they're worth so much more than that wedding.
Yes. And you know how you can just be physically home, but like mentally absent?
Yeah.
There's so many times where I'm
Sitting at home and my mind is in another place. So I'm missing out on everything, even though I'm just sitting here.
and
Yeah.
I'm such a I'm fascinated by so much, so I get lost in the sauce all the time. Like not only do I have like my kids and then I have my business, but then I mentor other people and I also coach a high school sport.
So like my brain is never in the same place.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're taking a call at a table.
9 times out of 10, I think any call we've taken, I'm sitting in a parking lot with my seatbelt on a Zoom call, and it was like me and you and Paige talking, and I'm like, sorry guys, I'm in the middle of 2 separate things, but I'm giving you all my energy right now for this call.
Do you feel like, I'm curious your take on this. So like I do feel like boundaries obviously so important, but I also feel like sometimes people can set boundaries that are so rigid that it doesn't allow them to, like, they're almost so rigid that it makes them like not be able to like have fun or be present or like take the wedding in Italy last summer. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some flexibility, and I'm just curious like how you approach that.
Honestly, it's again just listening to my gut and what I'm being called to.
I think we all have a calling, and whether we run towards it or away from it is
honestly whether
that boundary needs to be there or not. But I also think that society gives us certain boundaries that we're quote unquote supposed to have.
some people
Love the grind and they love just like diving into things and projects and being laser focused. I mean, I would want, for example, a pilot to have that no boundary of being laser focused on something. So I think we all have separate boundaries based on our gifts.
and
One way that
I'm able to work that boundary on a wedding day.
like
I'm able
to release my boundaries and just kind of fall into being creative. So all of us are different. I think
just understanding what we're called to and
following that is the root of happiness and making sure that you're centered. And
in that case, it doesn't really feel like a boundary anymore
because you're listening to yourself.
That's so true. And I think when you think about boundaries in terms of like art and creation, not necessarily boundaries about like I won't take a wedding on this day. Like that type of boundary is one thing, but I think boundaries around your art can be so helpful and actually help you create better. Like I know when I have bad boundaries with clients, I have a much harder time diving into content and writing really good content because my mind is in a million places and I'm trying to add this on and I'm trying to take on too many clients or whatever it is in my business. And that ends up being not helpful. Like, you
No,
know?
and I think you also just need to know that, like, sometimes you just need to know that being sick of something, that's also a boundary. Like,
Yeah.
you do something because you've poured so much of your life into it, and then all of a sudden you don't want to do it. Like, you need to have the boundary to say no. Like, I'm being called to something else. I need to move into a different direction. So
Yeah.
there's
I feel like
just so many different types of boundaries. It's
that,
just
it doesn't always have to be yes or no, doing this, doing that. Like, it's
yeah, it can be
it's just
a
natural.
pivot. Yeah.
yeah.
Which actually, like, that's a question that I have for you. So you've kind of pivoted in your
Hmm.
business and recently, like, you've just had some big life changes and the way your business looks this year is different from what it looked like last year. And I'm curious how you evolved that. Like, how did you shift your boundaries? How did you shift where your attention was going so that you could do what you wanted?
I think it was like you said, it was multiple things that were happening at the same time. Um, One being
Just really thinking about the creative side of my business.
um,
Us as artists, we evolve all the time. You know, just when you think of artists having different periods and the way that they would create art and what their art looked like at different points in their lives.
and just through the journey of that
And unplugging, I really just dove into what
I was
inspired by.
and
It started happening in the middle of the wedding season this past season, and it's hard because you have something that you've been working towards, like I just said before, like you've been working towards for like multiple years to like pivot and create this one style. And
Mm-hmm.
then you start getting pulled into a completely different direction and you're trying to go against it, but you're like, but my gut and my creativity is pulling me towards it. And
Yeah.
then for a second, I wasn't listening to it. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I need to just pause everything, you know,
Yeah.
completely drop off online, go zero dark 30, and just be in the pit and just like let things come to me. And through that, I'm like super excited about this next wedding season because I'm building on the creativity I had last year into this next one. But
I also a lot of my
other friends in the industry were asking me like, what's going on? You can tell that things are changing, and just talking to them about that and realizing that there's a lot of other people who are in the same mental space that I'm in.
Yeah.
And so the other half of that was really,
it was something I was doing for free.
and I wasn't upset about doing it. And
Yeah.
usually for me, when I'm in that scenario, when I'm continually doing something outside of the time that I have for free, but I'm not upset about it in any way possible, and I just want to keep doing it, that means that that's where I'm supposed to be. And so I started diving into helping people
covet their covet their style, figure out what it is that they're
truly drawn to, kind of just taking out social and what everybody else is doing out of the mix and diving into that. And
Yeah.
so that's just caused me to pivot into some other things that I'm really, really excited about that's coming forward.
I love that your gauge is like, I want to do it. Like, I would do it for free. Like, that's how much I love it. I would do it for free, which, like, I love that you also know that then that means, like, you could and you should, like, charge money for that. You know what I mean? Because, like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it starts the other way. It's like, how could I make money off this? How could I make money off this? But instead, you're coming from a place of, like, I would do this for free, but I know it's valuable. So I'm going to do it for free until I know and I'm ready to make it into like a paid offer.
mm-hmm.
There's so much to be said about that because I just feel like in this world people are so They just want money so bad, which I
Yeah,
get because like it's hard to come by these days. It feels like
for
that.
sure.
So I really do understand that and you should be compensated for your work, but I think using the gauge of like, but I love this so much, I would do it for free is like a
Hmm.
beautiful place to start.
Yeah, and it was a signal I honestly couldn't ignore.
Yeah.
So I've been building it out,
And I'm calling it the visual voice. And it really is just a place where other photographers, creatives of
any genre really, like really honing into what visually they're attracted
to and finding a way to hold that to them, and
I
how to
love.
not get lost in the mix or not get lost in the sauce. And one way that kind of started up is a couple of photographers were reaching out to me asking me about like how I tonally change things in like the HSL panels and other things. And I was like, like
as much as I want to give
give you the answer on how I edit, and I'm not, I don't gatekeep in any way, shape, or form. But I
Yeah.
want you to decide what it is you want to do and how you want to do your work, not based off of how somebody else wants to do their work.
Yeah, like
And
I love the perspective of yes, I could teach you exactly how I do what I do, but then
Mhm.
it wouldn't be yours. It would be mine.
Yeah. And
And
it's
so
like,
like,
how can
yeah.
you make it yours?
like how
Hmm.
can you like this one thing that I do, but like how can we take this one thing that I do and make it something that you do?
Yeah, which is so
And
hard. I think like
Yeah.
it's hard to be a creative and find your own voice because I mean, when anyone starts, you kind of start as a copycat no matter what. And I think like
yeah,
we love to shame people for that, but that's how everyone starts is like you see something you like, you try to replicate that. Like it happens in music, it happens in photography, it happens in business, it happens anywhere. And
mhm,
then the next step is a hard step. It's the one where you have to figure out what your own style is and how you want to approach what you're doing. And I even had it within my own business, and it wasn't a visual creation, but it was a creation of how I wanted to run my business and support my clients. And it was
mhm.
so different than all the other social media managers that I was like, ooh, is this even going to work? Like, are people even going to, agree with me on this or want to pay me to do this? And it's the same thing in photography. Like, that is the next step, and it's the riskier one, and it can be really scary.
Yeah, it's super scary. And it's even just like how you present yourself.
I feel like I know this is something that everybody's talking about online right now, but like I feel like we've lost our whimsy.
Like everybody's being so serious and like boxing us or boxing everyone into these little compartments. And it's like at one point in time,
Everybody was not,
I wouldn't say everybody was doing their thing, but there was so much variety. And I mean, not to quote Beyonce, but a genre is just a construct to keep us all into our boxes. Like it's like I want to stretch myself. And I think one thing that made me realize it, and it's going to be so random when you think of when you think of what I will reference in the situation, considering I'm a wedding photographer, but
I started watching
a lot of movies with my free time, like
Hmm.
so many movies by so many different directors. But then I started leaning more into cinematographers and like what cinematographers made what movies and what
Yeah.
movies did they find to be the most important to them. And it's going to sound crazy. I know I'm going to sound crazy when I say this, but like I have to be true to myself at this moment. The cinematography of Sinners was one of the most inspiring things for me for this wedding season. And I can't explain it other than not don't think of vampires and all that other junk. Like
Yeah.
just if you watch the movie and just see how the complexity of like how it was captured. And if you took that complexity and made it into somebody's wedding instead from that viewpoint, like that would be so bananas. Like there's just so many ways to be inspired by so many different things. So you don't have to only look at what's popping up online in that moment. Like there's so many
No,
other ways that you can figure it out.
I think that's like, it's so freaking like it's so cliche and I know these people have heard this a million times, but it's like get off the internet. Like get off the internet if you want to be inspired. I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell you how many times I've watched a movie and been like that's a content idea. Like and it doesn't make sense, but it's just you learn things by having variety in what you consume. And if all you're consuming is carousels, infographics, reels, TikToks, you're not seeing the depth of what's possible, especially when it comes to like creating legitimate art.
Yeah. And I, the other hard part with being a creative,
or just running a business in general and looking at what everybody else is doing, you
everybody feels like they have to fit in.
like they have to quote unquote fit in with everybody else.
Yeah.
And that is not necessary, in order to, sometimes people who run a business, like you have to be the hard-nosed one. And so like you can't always fit in with everybody else. So if you took it out of just like the photography space and you're
An entrepreneur
and you're running a company, like you can't treat you sometimes you have to be the hard one. And so but everybody wants to fit in. And so they go back and forth with that thought process and that mindset. So
Well, it can feel so risky to stand out because it creates a visibility thing for people. You could, people could not like it. Like if you try something new, it's risky. And I think that's why so many people play it safe is because maybe people don't like your editing style, like straight up. And that can feel because it's art, it can feel so personal.
personal.
It's really hard to be like, this isn't about me. Them not liking me isn't about me, you know?
No.
no, and we don't have to identify ourselves with our work.
Yeah.
And that is a lesson that I learned a long time ago. I played 4 years of college volleyball, and you spend your whole life dedicating yourself to that sport. And when you're done, you think, what is the important thing about me? Like, I'm not that important. Like, the only reason why I was important, the only reason why people like me is because I played the sport or I excelled in the sport. And you're just like, whoa, bro, like there's so many other things going on that you have interest in outside of just this one thing. So
I think
another way to be super successful with your job is to not, your identity isn't your job. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't dictate whether you're a good person, bad person, cool person, not cool person. I mean, I've met a lot of cool people who are CPAs, and to me, that's a really boring job. So like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter at all.
No.
You can
And
grow
yeah,
into a different person.
you're separate from your art. You're also separate from your business. I think like it's a crossover. Like, I've done this before too, like gotten so identified with my business that we are one and the same. And so when a client leaves or somebody doesn't like their content or whatever the hell can happen, somebody leaves a bad comment on my post, like it can feel so personal, but it's not me. Like it's not me, you
no.
know? This is my business. I do the best job that I possibly can. But at the end of the day, like someone not liking working with me or whatever, like it's not about me. And it just
Yeah.
like it's so hard to separate yourself from that, but I do think like it's a thief of joy. Like it will get you spiraling. It will get you thinking way too much about stuff that doesn't matter if you don't
For
have
sure.
honestly those boundaries with yourself that like you're separate.
Yep, exactly.
I'm so curious. You said that you left to go live in the light. And I know you've been in your whimsy. You've been in your whimsy, and I love that for you. I'm just curious, what does that mean to you and your business?
Um,
It means it's okay to be seen. Um,
and like,
when I say it's okay to be seen, it's like it's okay to be seen like you're the raw version of yourself. You
Yeah.
know,
I think it's like, and it's also just like not hiding.
what you're good at. Um,
And it's something that reminded me, especially with sports and stuff, is when you're good at something in sports, you kind of flex it. It's okay. Like, it's okay to be really good at something. You don't have to like pretend like you're not, or you don't have to pretend like you're less than. And it's super easy to stay small and like stay quiet and not claim the thing that you're doing well at, because sometimes that feels safer than being seen for wanting more and to be bigger. So it's something that I'm really trying to focus on there, and realizing that I don't have to limit my personality or limit myself to fit a mold. It's like you feel like in order to be taken seriously, you have to be serious, but I honestly am not serious, and I don't take much seriously. I take my art and my craft seriously, but like outside, and like serving my clients seriously, but like outside of those lines, I'm not a very serious person. I don't look into stuff too much.
I feel like it's our perspective on seriousness that's kind of funny. Like, serious is kind of like, it's kind of vague, like a surgeon is going to be serious, but like we're not doing surgery. So like how serious does it need to be? Like your client journey, your client experience could be dialed, and it still doesn't have to be like serious. It's not like life or death, And I think that kind of impacts people's nervous systems when like you're running a photography business like a surgeon, or you're running a social media business like a surgeon. It's like, I'm not as freak. Like, I didn't go to medical school for a reason. I didn't want to do that. So like, why am I building that prison for myself?
Yeah. But also, if you talk to surgeons, like they practice so much so that then when they're doing the surgery, it feels light. Like, it's like, it's when you've done something so much that you feel so comfortable and so sure of yourself with, it will feel light. It won't feel intense. There'll be intense moments. There's high pressure moments and high pressure states, like I feel those high pressure states. I'm loading images of people's most important day of their life, and I need to protect that, but
hence why she backs them up in the car on her way home.
Like I'm literally in the car, like doing it or during dinner and like loading stuff, but like I have systems for that, and I have plans for that. Just like if you were a surgeon, you have systems for that. And it's not that you're taking the job not seriously because you have something important in your hands, but it feels light because it's something, one, you like doing and you love doing. And it's something that you've prepared yourself for, like I think if I, like with the example with the surgeon, and if I had a surgeon who was so serious that they could only be type A and not type B, meaning like if shit went south, they couldn't figure it out. I don't want you there either. Like
that's so true. The duality.
Yes, like if you don't know how to pivot, I don't want you working on you either. So
like we have a problem.
We have a problem, but like it's so the seriousness of it sometimes doesn't work, and sometimes you need an outlet to not be serious because there's a lot of pressure in the situation. But it's also just like not performing, it's doing what's natural. Doing what's natural and not hiding from what's natural. I know that a lot of my friends tell me that when I'm on my tangents and I ramble, it's when I'm their favorite person in the world.
Yes, and when you've reached flow state.
When I reach my verbal Lorelai Gilmore flow state where I'm just like having mini monologues by myself, I know that that's my flow state. I had in the past, I've tended to run away from it. And so moving forward, the way that I'm planning on presenting myself in this new era of myself, as we call it, or this new genre of myself, I'm not going to run away from it because that's where I feel comfortable. That's where I feel confident. So like, why run away from it? So that's my version of,
I love that.
Being in the light is just like, I'm not going to run away from it anymore. It's a complete waste. And it's a waste of my time on this rotating speck of a rock.
Yeah, like I'm gonna own my soul's purpose and just go all in with it. I love that
Yeah.
so much. We have a few more minutes, so I wanted to ask you, what's one thing you wish you'd known earlier in your photography journey?
Oof. I would say, I would honestly say that
Your taste is a business strategy and not a liability. Like,
I have
I
a
love that.
very specific taste. Um, I have a very specific aesthetic, and I thought that not being fitting for the masses was going to be an issue. But the more I lean into my taste, the more I realize that it's not a liability. It's definitely a strength. And it's important to be specific about the clients I wanted and having a real, my own personal point of view of the world.
Yeah.
And honestly, being generic is super forgettable.
So
And
true.
it's way easier to, it's being generic is super forgettable, but being specific is way more findable. And
Yeah.
if if someone wants something, they're going to go look for it. And if you are holding to yourself and you are what they want, they will find you. But if I'm going to be generic and do something for the masses, like I'm just lost in the mix. Like nobody's, I'm going to be very forgettable to a lot of different people.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much. I'm curious what lights you up the most about your business and life right now. Like, what are you just like, hell yeah, about?
Oh my gosh, in business, probably I'm super lit up by my like clarity. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just feel like it's so clear and I know exactly what I want and exactly what I want to move towards. And, through hustling for so long just to find that even ground. And I feel like I finally like, I'm still climbing towards the mountaintop, but I've finally like reached a plateau for right now until I'm ready to make the next ascent. Um,
I love.
I feel like I'm really enjoying the people who I have made like custom presets for, like really watching them fall in love with editing again.
Yeah.
And that's super exciting, especially in the world of AI where like nobody's really editing their images anymore, which is fine because, hey, we all need time with our families and doing other things, but just seeing people
Yeah.
being more excited to do that. And in life, I would say just doing things on my own terms and being very sure of myself about it. I don't know what about 35 it was, but the day I turned 35, like, I gave two shits about everything. Like, I'm like, none of this really matters other than the time that I have on this earth with the people that are most important, doing things that I love.
Yeah.
So really leaning into that definitely has me super excited for whatever this year brings.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see everything that you do. Um, or don't do because you're
Mhm.
prioritizing yourself. Like, I'm just excited to watch your journey and see what decisions you make and obviously all the concerts that you're gonna go to.
No, bro. Jay-Z just dropped that concert at Yankee Stadium the other day. And I'm trying to conjure up some money, but I know Beyonce's going to go on tour in like another year. So I'm like, yes. It's
I
messing with
love
my
that.
mind. It's messing with my mind and my pocket at the same time.
I
Oh,
love
jeez.
that. Okay, one last question for you. And it is, what is one piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self?
um, Stop waiting to feel ready because you're never ready.
Yeah.
Um, the thing I keep on like the things that you try and edit out because you want to fit in and think that that's the version that the world needs to see you. It's not. You're way
Yeah.
cooler if you don't. And my younger self, if I really go back to my high school self, I'd be like, you are way cooler than you possibly can imagine. So you just need to like lean into it and make sure not to throw out any of your clothes because they're really popular right now.
Literally, I was in like Tilly's the other day and I was like, what are these Miss Me jeans? And then I was like, I used to pay like $200 for these and they're like $70. I was like, wow, times have
I was like,
changed.
dude, I'm like,
You don't let your mom throw out anything because Calvin Klein's coming back, and do not throw out a single thing because you probably can sell it on eBay for so much money right now.
I know, or Depop. I'm so with you.
Dude,
I'm
the
just
amount
like,
of money.
oh my God. Like, and what do? You can't keep everything forever, but it always is like, man, I wish I kept that.
Well, and I'm so mad because I got rid of it. I'm like, nobody else is wearing it, so it's not cool. Like, girl, you had taste. You had taste.
like I look back on it now, like
I was wearing Calvin Klein dresses to my homecoming dances. Yeah, nobody else
Yeah.
was wearing them, but like,
I was like, lean into yourself.
you know,
I love
you
that perspective so much. And like
you
the
had
fact that it's like the clothes too is just iconic.
No, it's like, girl, you were so
top tier. Like, don't do this. Like, what are you doing? And that's what I mean. Like, you're way cooler than you think you are. I mean,
I honestly, as you get older,
and you feel like you don't know who you are. I just tell myself and tell people that
I'm the 16-year-old
version of myself, except I have money now. So like that's literally what's happening in my head at this point.
Oh my God, I love that. It's so true. Is there anything else you want to share about like with any upcoming projects or anything like that?
I'm really excited about the visual voice,
And I'm really excited about helping photographers like really hone in on their editing style. And we've got it all mapped out so that not only can I help them find their editing style, but help them create custom presets for them to really be able to use it and be effective in their business.
I
um,
love that.
and I feel like that's something that is very different because then
You can go on the journey yourself and really
Hmm.
figure things out for yourself. I'm super excited. By the time this comes out, we'll be photographing families again. I really have missed being in front of like families and littles and you doing my own perspective on like the family journey. And yeah, there's just
it's just finding it. I'm just finding my love for all of it again
and realizing that I
Yay.
don't have to stick in one genre anymore, and I can just
photograph anything and everything. And
Yeah.
we're really excited.
I love that so much. Yes. We'll link Mary's everything so you guys can have access to it. And if her new offer is out, we'll link that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast and sharing your thoughts, and you're so inspiring, and just thank you for sharing your light with us.
thank you for having me. It was an awesome time.
Yeah, I had a great time. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.